Okay, welcome to Office Hours, or Horas de la Oficina. White guy mangling the Spanish language. I should run for president. Okay. From Andrew Beck, NYC. Andrew writes, if you could talk M&A, I'd appreciate it. You once wrote to the effect, sell your company when you're at the top. But when do you know you're at the top? What makes services firms attractive to a buyer? What are the pros and cons of staying on once it's been acquired? Okay, so when do you know you're at the top? It's impossible to know when you're at the top. It's impossible to know when you're at the bottom, but you can tell when you're topish or bottomish. And as Todd Benson, a board member of mine, once told me, market dynamics trump individual performance. And that is, you'd rather be a good company selling in a great market than a great company selling in a good market. Also, a lot of it is a function of companies are bought, not sold. Typically, the way I've sold firms is I wait till I get an inbound opportunity or offer that's credible, and then hire an agent to go out and say, we are active in discussions. The truth has a nice ring to it. You always want to be honest. We're in active discussions to be sold, and we wanted to see if you are interested as a transaction might get done. If it doesn't happen, you want to wait, in my view, 2 to 3 years before doing a test, because firms that are constantly for sale begin to smell. And again, firms are bought, not sold. What are the pros and cons of staying on once it's been acquired? Typically, the pro for a founder, as we are addicted to a substance called control and typically don't operate well in companies once they've been acquired. So the pro of staying around, quite frankly, is usually money, because usually there's a holdback or there's a tie to EBITDA. You said, what makes a services firm attractive to a buyer? Services firms are usually bought for their client relationships, their revenues. Sometimes they have some proprietary IP, not usually. That's why services firms get a lower multiple. But what they're really buying is the individual. So expect an employment agreement that feels more like the conditions of your parole, and that is you are going to be around in that company for 3 to 5 years. So in addition to looking at the highest bidder, you want to really think, would I be happy here for 3 or 5 years? So when do you sell? When you can. Can't tell the top, can't tell the bottom, but you can tell when things are frothy or bad, and they're quite frothy right now. In a services company, you're really buying the people, the cash flows, and the revenue relationships. Hope that helps. Andrew Beck, NYC. Okay. From @Lishan, which companies would you love to run if you were given the keys, and why? What would you do with it in the next 5 years? Being a CEO is a really difficult job. I'm not sure I'd want to be the CEO of a big company. If I were going to be involved at a senior level company, I'd want to be involved in a great media company. I think Disney would be an outstanding board to be on. Would be a lot of fun and just interesting challenges. I'm on the board of a retailer right now. I'm on the board of a couple software companies. I've been on the board of some interesting companies. I love being on the board of the New York Times during those challenging years. But CEO, do I want to run anything? Not really. I'm kind of done. Being a CEO, I think, is a young man's job, or a young person's job, or a young woman's job. I don't envy them. Call me a tasty little snack for a great white shark. By the way, supposedly we're not part of the food chain of great whites. So if I get taken up to my waist in the mouth of a great white, it may, in fact, decide to spit me out, which is something that I would really like to experience. We'll see you next week.
Teacher.